So I think, Adrian, one of the most interesting observations you make in the book is that most loyalty schemes actually don't increase loyalty at all and generate loyalty.
Yeah.
So perhaps you want to explain a bit more about that.
This is sometimes a little bit contentious because there's a lot of people there with a lot of loyalty schemes, and a lot of people put a lot of store by loyalty schemes. I will get this card, you'll get the stamps, or you'll get this card and you'll get points and so on and so forth. But if you dig into it, and you then ask customers that have some of those, are members of those sort of schemes, they're actually really only in it for the discounts that they get. And if you're only really in it for the discounts, then that doesn't really mean any loyalty at all. Because if you apply a bit of pressure, they'll switch to somebody that gives them a better price or a better offer or whatever it might be. And so what I'm thinking about is that if people want to think about what they can do to build their loyalty, is don't think that a loyalty scheme is going to help you. It might mean that your customers stick around for a little bit longer, but it's largely dependent on how much of a discount that you give them as a function of their loyalty scheme. But don't kid yourself just because you might have hundreds or thousands of people in your loyalty scheme that you've got a huge loyal base of customers, because it's just not true.
So interesting enough, do you think that sometimes companies then are confusing loyalty with retention? Are you saying that they might retain a customer for a little bit longer because, hey, I've got a few more discounts here, but actually in terms of loyalty itself, that's not necessarily the case? I think
that's true. I think there's also an interesting question. If you turn the question around and ask yourself, so investigate the idea of loyalty. And if you've got a company here and you've got customers here, and the loyalty is sort of that bridge in between, you've got to ask yourself, is this a two-way street, or who's being loyal to who? And there's other bits of research that says if you ask customers, what is the function of a loyalty scheme? They're saying, like, oh, that's for the company to show loyalty to us. And you ask marketeers, but almost by the same percentage, they'll give you the flip of the answer. They say a loyalty scheme is for customers to show loyalty to us. And you ask yourself, well, what is the function of the loyalty scheme? So I actually think if you really, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a loyalty scheme, but I think you need to think bigger when it comes to loyalty. And you actually think, if you think about what is loyalty within a relationship, you've got to do things that build loyalty. It's like building trust. You've got to do things that mean things to people, that are helpful, that are valuable, and it's not just about discounts.
So how would you advise a company, if someone's watching this and they've either got a loyalty scheme or they're thinking of trying to create something, what are the things in your experience that engender loyalty in a customer? What are the things that you can do to create loyal customers? It may or may not be a scheme itself, but to create loyal customers.
I think fundamentally you've got to examine what is the journey that your customer goes through with you. What does it mean to them when they engage with you? What are the things that you can do that add value to them, are helpful to them, are useful, are timely, and so on and so forth? Because those are the things, if you can help a customer make their life easier, or create something which is memorable, or is just thoughtful, then that allows you to create the emotional connection, and that emotional connection with the customer is going to be way, way more powerful than any sort of price discount driven relationship you have that will come primarily from a loyalty scheme.